No one is truly prepared to face the possibility that the two most powerful figures in BTS history, Jungkook and Taehyung, are suddenly no longer part of the system that made their names. Yet one small moment managed to shake the entire structure of public trust: the shocked expression of Chris Martin, the lead vocalist of Coldplay, which went viral in seconds after hearing unexpected news about the fate of the two BTS members. Is this a sign that something bigger is happening behind the scenes? Has HYBE really taken a drastic step that cannot even be justified by business logic? International public attention is no longer focused solely on the individual careers of BTS members, but now shifts to internal decisions deemed cruel, manipulative, and too strategic to be seen as coincidence. Chris Martin, known for his close personal and professional relationship with BTS, was reported to have shown an unusually emotional reaction upon learning the rumor that Jungkook and Taehyung had been released by their own agency. That reaction was not only captured by the media, but also sparked an explosion of outrage from ARMY around the world. The question is, what actually happened? There is no official statement, no detailed explanation. Only traces of activities, disappearing interactions, and unusual signals on social media that were enough to ignite the flame of speculation. Fans realized something had changed. Jungkook and Taehyung, who used to appear frequently in BTS's official agendas, are now more often seen alone, engaged in projects not directly associated with the group's big name, even appearing with outsiders who have no structural relationship with HYBE. Is this a form of career liberation or a hidden exclusion unnoticed by the public? Chris Martin is not someone easily swayed by rumors. Yet his quick and visibly surprised response in a closed forum made the public revisit a question long considered mere speculation. Has HYBE truly separated Jungkook and Taehyung from the BTS entity permanently? If not, why are their names almost never mentioned anymore in the collective narrative HYBE usually builds to promote the group? These questions didn't arise without cause. Over the past 3 months, Jungkook and Taehyung have frequently appeared outside the agency's official agenda. They also seem freer in their collaborations, musical and non-musical, without HYBE's typical branding. Some fans even found that third parties working with them no longer list HYBE affiliation in their promotional materials. Is this a sign of independence? Or rather a form of dismissal disguised as freedom? The international public, especially fans in Europe and America, have started comparing this pattern to similar scenarios in Western entertainment, where artists are often pushed out through a soft exit strategy. They're still given creative space, but gradually separated from the main system and left to create their own narrative. This strategy is usually used to avoid image clashes or open conflicts. Is HYBE doing the same thing to two of BTS's most influential members? Chris Martin's reaction is seen as the trigger for public emotional escalation. He is believed to know something the public does not. In a leaked moment from a private interview, Chris appears hesitant, pausing briefly, then responding with an ambiguous sentence when asked about a new project with BTS. "I'm not sure if that's possible anymore." That sentence became fuel for ARMY to dig deeper. What made someone like Chris Martin unsure that a project with BTS could still happen? Wasn't he always optimistic about future collaborations? Fans' anxiety became unstoppable when several international fanbase accounts began pulling back their promotions related to the 7-member comeback. Many of them claimed the internal information they received no longer listed Jungkook and Taehyung as part of this year's main agenda. Some major fan bases even deleted countdowns previously believed to signal a full BTS reunion. Why were those two names suddenly removed from the grand narrative that had always been revered together? Visual clues also began to be analyzed. In some promotional footage, Jungkook and Taehyung's placements were different. Sometimes, they weren't shown at all. In old documentary clips now resurfacing, Jungkook and Taehyung were seen having a heated argument with management about their respective career directions. Although that footage had been around for a while, it now carries new meaning. Some observers even describe that moment as the starting point of a long conflict now coming to light. ARMY's anger can no longer be contained. Protest hashtags appeared across countries, though not officially covered by media. Fans expressed their disappointment over what they call a systemic betrayal of the two members who had elevated BTS's global identity. Jungkook, known as the Golden Magne, and Taehyung, known for his visual and unique musicality, are suddenly no longer part of the official narrative. The public feels a loss. But more than that, they feel manipulated. What would HYBE's reason be if they indeed sidelined these two big names? Economic factors? Internal politics? Or merely fear of individual power that could threaten the company's control? There is no clear answer. What exists is suspicious silence. No clarification, no denial. And as often happens in the entertainment world, silence becomes the strongest evidence that something is being hidden. Now all eyes are on Jungkook and Taehyung's every move. Fans are closely watching every post, every project, even their expressions in public. Both appear professional, still smiling, but there's a growing distance that's hard to deny. Their consistent absence from group activities is no longer coincidence. It's a pattern. And this pattern is too tidy to be merely the result of personal decisions. Chris Martin, without ever speaking bluntly, has opened a crack in the grand narrative that the system had tightly sealed. With one facial expression and one ambiguous sentence, he ignited a question that can no longer be ignored. If HYBE truly made such a monumental decision, why hasn't the public been informed? Why is everything wrapped as if all is well? These are the questions now flooding global discussion forums. No one can confirm the answers, but one thing is certain: public trust in the official narrative is crumbling. Fans don't just feel betrayed, they feel reduced to passive recipients with no right to know. And when that distrust arises, the impact is felt not just by individuals, but by the entire system. Chris Martin might be just one voice. But in a world full of narrative manipulation, one honest voice can be the sharpest tool to uncover hidden truths. The world now waits, not for a clarification, but for real action from those at the center of control. Will they explain? Or will they continue hiding behind increasingly chilling silence? Are the public truly ready to accept the truth? Or are they more comfortable living in a narrative shaped by the global entertainment industry? Behind Chris Martin's viral emotional reaction and the deep unrest among BTS fans lies a far more fundamental question. Is this the reality we are witnessing, or a crafted narrative designed to sway public opinion? There's no denying that the circulating information about Jungkook and Taehyung's status in BTS has massively split public opinion. On one side, a strong fanbase still believes nothing has changed, that BTS remains united. But on the other side, data, visuals, and communication patterns detected across platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter indicate a mismatch between public narrative and observable reality. When information emerges from unofficial cracks, be it a famous artist's facial expression or silent removal of names from promotional material, the public shouldn't swallow it whole. Yet, ironically, emotions often take over. Is this because we're too attached to Jungkook and Taehyung as inseparable parts of BTS? Or because we're afraid to face the fact that this industry is far more complex, cold, and manipulative than we imagined? It must be emphasized that the circulating information, including Chris Martin's expression, the absence of Jungkook and Taehyung from official promos, and their seemingly HYBE-less collaborations, mostly originates from platforms without strict verification mechanisms. TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter are free information spaces, but not neutral truth spaces. So the urgent question arises: are we pursuing facts, or merely trapped in a narrative whirlpool designed to stir public emotion? If it's true that Jungkook and Taehyung have been removed or separated from BTS, why is there no open statement? Why must the public rely on video clips, a foreign musician's facial expression, or visual deletions in advertisements as the basis for a massive assumption? This is where we must reflect. Is this narrative a representation of reality, or merely a shadow deliberately thrown to the public to create a psychological effect? It would be a great irony if we fully believed a construct of information just because it's emotionally packaged. In a fast digital world full of visual illusions, truth is no longer about facts, but perception. So it's important to ask ourselves, why do we believe? What is the basis of that belief? Is it because we saw it on TikTok? Or because we want to believe that a giant system like HYBE could be cruel to its own artists? Journalism and social media no longer stand on opposite ends. Now, a Twitter narrative can be more powerful than an investigative report. But here lies the danger. When speed defeats depth, emotion will always defeat reason. That's why it's important to ask, does Chris Martin really know something the public doesn't? Or is his facial expression just an overinterpretation by digital observers hungry for sensation? The tension felt by the public today reflects a much broader crisis of trust. This crisis isn't just about BTS, HYBE, or its members. It concerns how the public perceives truth in this fluid information era. Every short video, snippet of dialogue, or name deletion can now spark global conspiracy theories. So it's crucial to ask, who actually controls public opinion? Did this narrative come from honest fans, or is it driven by hidden interests? With wild opinions growing without a strong foundation, we're faced with a confusing situation: how to distinguish between reality and illusion. When global armies get angry, what are they really angry at? Is it HYBE, believed to have secretly split BTS? Or are they angry at the situation that makes them feel betrayed by a non-transparent information system? We must start questioning the grand narratives consumed without filters. If Jungkook and Taehyung were truly removed, where is the official statement? If Chris Martin really knows something, why hasn't he confirmed it? Is this reputation protection? Or a silent strategy to let the public fuel the issue without intervention? We live in an era where narrative manipulation can be done subtly. Just one framed facial expression in a second of video can drag the public into a wave of collective emotion. So it's essential to ask again, are we controlled by reality or by feelings created from incomplete fragments? Social media gives everyone the power to be a narrative producer. But with that power comes responsibility. Do we as the public really verify what we spread? Or do we just reinforce our own biases, indifferent to whether it's fact or manipulation? This reflection matters because we are not just consumers of information. We are also actors shaping collective perception. The entertainment world isn't free from economic and political interests. We know that image, reputation, and conflict management play major roles in every decision. But when decisions affect the emotions of millions of global fans, it becomes crucial to ask, who truly benefits from this confusion? Is this an internal HYBE crisis? Or a strategy to boost BTS members' individual popularity through controversy? These questions must be answered not with blind belief, but with a skeptical and logical approach. Just because we like an artist doesn't mean we should believe every piece of related information. Just because a video is viral doesn't mean it's true. The speed of information spread is not the same as the validity of its content. Now, as you read this article, we cannot confirm whether all this information is an accurate reflection of behind-the-scenes reality. We are merely presenting fragments of signals, social media narratives, and emotional responses captured in public spaces. But truth remains something to be sought, not handed over easily. Are you convinced that HYBE has truly pushed out Jungkook and Taehyung? Or is this merely a narrative designed to shake your emotions? Does Chris Martin really know something big? Or are we just interpreting a second of facial expression with meanings he never intended? Do you feel disturbed by the absence of these two big names from official activities? Or are you starting to realize that this system is designed so that every change, no matter how small, can be used to build a larger story? And most importantly, as an observer, reader, and fan, are you truly critical of the information you absorb? We do not urge you to fully believe this article. Instead, we urge you to question it. Read, trace, investigate. Verify circulating sources. Ask yourself, who spreads this narrative? What is the motive? Who benefits? And are you a victim? Or are you being given a chance to see reality more clearly? Because in the end, truth doesn't always come from the most convincing voice. It comes from a process of calm, skeptical reflection, and the courage to ask even the hardest question. Have we been lied to by the system we trust? Or have we willingly let ourselves be controlled by emotion for the sake of a false sense of comfort?